Welcome to BomiChess. Today we're going to talk about fried liver attack. This is also known as Fegatello Attack, and it's named by Italian dish. So it's the beginning of this attack is of course in Italy, in Rome, and the first written form of this one is from 1606. So it's more than 400 years old. And since it's an Italian game, it goes like this. If you're white, you play this pawn to e4, we have pawn to e5, now you play knight to f3, then knight to c6, and you play this bishop to c4. So you have Italian game here, and then your opponent plays knight to f6, so two knights defense. And here there is opportunity for this knight from f3 to go to g5. So we play knight to g5, and now we are attacking this pawn two times. So this bishop is aiming it and knight as well. So if black doesn't defend it, we're gonna simply play this knight takes pawn in the next move and attack the queen and the rook. So here there are various kinds of defense for black. There's also some counter gambit. You can play this bishop to c5, attacking this pawn here, then later bringing the knight into the game, but we're not gonna look into this today. You also have some lines like knight takes this pawn here. The point being, queen is now attacking this knight. If you recapture the knight, then simply pawn to d5. You're attacking the bishop and the knight here. You're gonna get back your piece. But all of this is not part of today's video. And the best defense here for black is this pawn to d5. So now you're preventing this attack for x7 pawn, and also you're attacking the bishop and the pawn in the center. So here white takes this pawn, and here the best option for black would be to play knight to a5, attacking this bishop and getting away from this attack of the pawn. But here you play bishop to b5, pawn to c6, pawn takes on c6, pawn takes on c6, and now you go back with the bishop, for example, here in front of your queen, or even here to e2. And this is a sort of equal position for black and white. Black has these isolated pawns, but black can simply develop his piece very fast here and play kingside castling, so it's very good position for black as well. So all of this is something that's like main line, but we're gonna talk today about position where black makes mistake here. After pawn takes, black can try to recapture with a knight. Knight takes on d5. Now the queen is defending the knight, so if bishop takes the knight, queen takes the bishop, and this is a good position for black. This is better for black. So you're not gonna take this knight with the bishop, but you're gonna here. This is where this fried liver attack comes into play. Knight takes pawn on f7, and now this is the threat, of course, to the queen and to the rook. So if the queen moves, you're simply, next move, you're gonna take this rook in the corner. So black sort of must take this sacrifice. So black takes this knight on f7, and now you play this since the king is out in the open. You play queen to f3, check. So you're checking the black king, and you're also attacking this knight here. So bishop is now pinning this knight to the king, and queen is also attacking the knight. And black has a few moves here to play. So if black decides just to go back with a king, this is bad for him, because now this bishop can simply take the knight. So you got your piece back, your pawn up, and black king is now stuck here in the middle of the board, and he has lost the right to castle. So after this, white is in much better position. So it's not good for black to go back with a king, but maybe black can also for some reason try to go to g8. Point being, like, go to secure place on the board in the corner, but this is very bad. This leads to checkmate in 3 moves. So now you can do it in two ways. You can take it with the bishop, or with the queen you can take the knight. So maybe more elegant way is to take the knight with the queen, check, and now after queen recaptures, you take the queen with the bishop, check, and now the only defense is this bishop to e6, but now you take the bishop, and this is checkmate. So black king is nowhere to go. So it's not very good defense for black king to go to g8, and probably black king will not go to g8. Also king to e7 leads to taking the knight with the bishop, so it's not good. But here black plays king to e6. And now the point is that black is defending this knight 2 times. So white is attacking 2 times and black is defending 2 times, so all seems good. But now white introduces another knight into the action, knight to c3. So now you're attacking this knight here on d5. And here, if black doesn't do anything, this knight is going to be lost, and white is much better. So there are 2 ways for black to defend this. This knight from c6 can defend this knight on d5, So one move is knight to e7, but this is very passive move. Knight goes back, it's blocking now the development of black pieces, so it's very bad. And after this you can also play this pawn here and start attacking the king in the center. So this is not the best option. Better would be knight to b4. Now you're defending this knight here. You can also defend it soon with this pawn here to c6, and also this knight is now attacking this pawn on c2. So now black thinks like, okay, if white do something here, I can just take this pawn in next move. I'm gonna give check and I'm gonna attack the rook. So if you take my knight, I'm gonna take your rook and the pawn. Seems like a very good deal. But here after this, white simply plays kingside castling. And now this king is secure, but more important is that this rook is soon going to come to e1 and start attacking the black king in the center. So after this castling, if black decides to play knight takes on c2, threatening this rook here, this is gonna lead to losing the game. So now bishop takes knight here, check. Queen cannot recapture because this knight is also guarding this square. So king has few squares to go. If king decides to go to e7, now it's gonna be checkmate in two moves. Queen to f7, check. The only square for king is this d6, and now knight to e4, checkmate. Knight is also guarding this c5 square, and queen is protecting this bishop here, and all other squares are protected by the bishop and the queen. So this is checkmate. So if king tried to go here to d7, now queen to f5, check, and it's also attacking this knight here. And after king moves, white is simply going to get this knight here, and white is whole piece up. Much better game for white. So black is not gonna play this either. And if black king tries to go to d6, now we have this move, bishop to b3. It's strange looking because now this knight can take this rook here, bishop is attacking the knight. So let's see what happens. If the knight tried to take the rook here on a1, now this is game over. Queen to d5, check. There is only one square for black king, e7. And now queen takes on e5, check. And here there are two ways how black can play. King to d7 is gonna lead to queen to e6. This bishop is guarding that square, so this is checkmate. And also black can try to protect this with the bishop, but now queen takes on e6, the same checkmate. So it's not good for black here to actually take this rook. And another option, black can try here to play knight to d4, attacking the queen and the bishop here. But here we have similar. Queen to d5, check. And after king goes here, queen takes on e5, check. Now giving the check and attacking the knight here. So if you defend it with the bishop, simply knight to d5, check. Attacking the king, the bishop is pinned here. Queen can also not take it because the bishop is guarding that. And after this, white can simply take this knight. And white is better. White is gonna win here. So if you try to defend it with the knight, now white can start bringing other pieces into the action. Rook to e1, attacking this. Pawn is gonna come here if black tries to get out his queen here. So after rook to e1, for example, queen to d6, white can simply play queen to g5, check. This knight is pinned now because of the rook. So if king goes back, soon white is simply gonna take this knight. And first pawn to d4, and black king is stuck here in the middle of the board. This is going to be game over very soon. So very sharp positions. If you like sharp positions on the board, this attack is something that you are gonna like very much. So after this position, you need to calculate a lot. It's not good for black to take this pawn. If black falls to this, you're gonna have a better game right away. So let's see some game with this attack. So the game that we're gonna look into today with this fried liver attack team is one from 1858, and it's played between Paul Morphy and unknown opponent from New Orleans. And Paul Morphy was here giving blindfold simultaneous exhibition on 6 board. And so let's see how the game go. Paul Morphy was white and his opponent was black, so Paul Morphy opened with e4. The opponent played e5. We have this knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to c4. So we have Italian game, and his opponent played this knight to f6. So here Paul Morphy could have gone already for this one, for knight to g5, but he first played pawn to d4, attacking the pawn in the center. His opponent took the pawn, and now Morphy played knight to g5. now he's attacking this square. So his opponent defended this by playing this pawn to d5. Morphy took the pawn, and here his opponent made a mistake. He played this knight to d5. And Morphy still couldn't play right away this knight to knight takes on f7, because this queen here could give check, and after the trade of queens, king can simply take this knight, and this is not good for white, because you don't have a queen on the board to attack the black king. So Morphy first played this kingside castling, now bringing the rook into the action in the middle of the board. And here this bishop is also guarding the knight, so the queen cannot take this knight. There are no problems for white here. And first black is playing this bishop here to e7, attacking this knight here and preparing the kingside castling. But Morphy said, okay, no, you're not gonna castle kingside, I'm first gonna take this pawn on f7. So Morphy is sacrificing the knight here. So here we have a fried liver attack from Morphy. And his opponent needs to take this knight, because now knight is attacking the queen and the rook here, and if takes the rook, white is gonna simply be much better. So this black king took the knight, and here Morphy played queen to f3, attacking this king here and attacking this knight here in the center. So we have king to e6, protecting this knight once more, and now Morphy played knight to c3. So this pawn is attacking that c3 square, but Morphy played it anyway, attacking the knight here, and black simply took the knight here. The problem is now for black that this line is open for attack, and Morphy is gonna use that very soon. So Morphy first played this rook to e1, check, giving the check to the king. And here if black tries to go for d file with a king, because now this f file is protected by the queen, if king goes here, for example, this is checkmate right away. Queen takes on d5, this is checkmate. And if king tries to go here and try to find protection here, queen is gonna take the same on d5, and after this bishop to d6 is gonna be checkmate in e1, this is checkmate. But if king tries to run away, king to e8, now we have this queen to f7, check, king is gonna go back, and now we have this rook to d1, check. The bishop is pinned here because of the queen, so the only protection is knight to d4, now rook takes on d4, check. The only square is now king to c6, and now white is gonna take the queen here, and very soon white is gonna win the game. So this is not good line for black. Black cannot retreat his king to the anywhere on the d file. So now black simply played this knight to e5, protecting this king from the check, but now this knight is pinned to the king. So Morphy is gonna attack it right away. Bishop to f4, attacking the knight once more, and here black is trying to protect this knight by playing bishop to f6. And here Morphy doesn't want to give the black space for his king to run away. He's gonna take this knight right away. Morphy took the knight on e5, bishop took the knight on the bishop on e5, and here Morphy sacrificed his piece, or he has given up the exchange. He took the bishop with the rook. And here once more, if the king tries to go for this d file, now queen takes, this is checkmate, or to d7 is the same, the checkmate. So here king must take this rook. So black took the rook on e5, and here Morphy introduced another rook to e1. So Morphy has only these three pieces, but the black king is here in the middle of the board, and all of black pieces are here on the last rank. Only this poor knight is here in the middle of the board, trying to protect this king. So Morphy attacked the king right away. Now the same thing applies. If king goes back, this is checkmate right away. So king must go forward. King to d4, and now Morphy took this knight here. The point being that this queen cannot recapture the bishop because of the rook to d1, check. And now after king moves, white is simply gonna take this queen, or even better with the queen, check, and soon black king is gonna be checkmated. So here black couldn't take the bishop, but black played rook to e8, attacking this rook here. Black is trying to get rid of some pieces, but Morphy doesn't like that, so Morphy just played queen to d3, check. Now we have this, the only move, king to c5, and here great move, pawn to b4, check. So king must take this pawn, king took the pawn, and here Morphy played queen to d4. He could have also played queen to c4, because now this bishop is protecting this square, but okay, queen to d4, check, king to a5, queen takes on c3, check, king to a4, queen to b3, check, king here to a5, and now queen to a3. So king has only two moves, he played one of them, he played king to b6, and after this Morphy delivered the checkmate, rook to b1, checkmate. So now this king is fried like that liver. So that was fried liver attack. I hope that you liked the video today. Write down in comments about it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!